How are you? Wow, look at that.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
So this is Calgary behind you, huh?
Yeah, man. Calgary. Cowtown.
How is it? Give me a sense of how Calgary is.
It's nice, man. The weather's nice. It's like 70 every day, 68. The air feels clear. I've been here a couple days now, so it's nice, man. I'm having a good time so far.
Canadians are as friendly as advertised, yeah?
Yeah, man. They treat me well up here.
Hey, let's talk about this fight. You're taking on Eddie Alvarez this weekend in the main event. First things first, do you know if Calgary employs the new unified rules or not?
Man, I'm not sure, but hopefully we won't have any problems with hands down or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how relevant that will be ultimately when the fight happens. I've looked into it, by the way. I have not had this confirmed, but I think that they do. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Either way, it's all good, man. This guy's gonna get beat up.
All right, let's talk about the last fight. How much do you think about it? How much have you gone back and watched it, taken something from it?
You know, honestly, not a whole lot. I watched a little bit of video of his last fight with Gaethje. I haven't seen me and his fight, more than 4 or 5 times since the fight.
What is your sense about what happened in the first one? I know how it ended, of course, but I mean, up until that controversial ending, what was your read on how it was going?
I thought I was in control. I thought I had the timing and the speed advantage, the footwork. I was just I had a better rhythm than him that night, and was beating him up. But the way it ended was foul, and we're here to do it again now.
Do you still have hard feelings about it?
You know, I lost a lot of respect for Eddie as a person with the things he said after the fight, that I wanted out of the fight or that I quit or something like that. I mean, you can look at my resume. I don't quit, bro. That's not me. I think this is business. So when we get in there, it'll be cool to get a win over a guy when something like that happens, but that's not the driving factor behind this. The driving factor is beating Eddie Alvarez and getting a step closer to getting my title shot.
I see it's real windy up there. What are the stakes in your mind in this fight? What's on the line?
For me, in my heart, I believe a win gets me a title shot. So that's what I'm going into this fight with.
Does that mean it's the most important fight of your career? Fair to say?
You know, they're all so important. Everyone is the most important. Every next fight is your most important fight. But there's a lot on the line for me in this fight. It's been a lot of years to get to this point, to be a step away from a title shot. And here we are. I'm not going to let it slip through my fingers. I'm prepared to do whatever I have to do and go through whatever I have to go through Saturday night to be victorious. And there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to get my hand raised. And, that's just the mindset I'm going into this fight with.
Is this fight, in your mind, going to be tougher than the Gaethje fight?
You know, every fight's different. I feel like it's going to be similar. I felt like the Gaethje fight could have been as smooth or as tough as I made it. And I think this fight is going to be similar. If I stick to my game plan, if I use clean and crisp striking and I don't brawl, that it'll be as smooth as I want it to be, Of course, it's still a fight, so adversity might present itself, but I'm the better fighter, I believe.
Let me see if I can ask this the right way. Did you develop an entirely new game plan this time around? Like, how much of the wheel needs to be reinvented here?
It doesn't. Just need to sharpen up. My patience is better. I'm more experienced. I'm more mature now. Those kind of things got me in trouble in the last fight. When I heard him, I went crazy, trying to get him out of there. I had a similar thing happen in the Gaethje fight. I heard him, but that time I was a little bit more patient, and I put him away. So this time when I heard Eddie, I'm going to take my time. I know that I did it with skill. This stuff doesn't happen by chance. So if I do hurt him, I can take my time and put him away. And if I don't put him away there, then it'll happen again. I'll hurt him again. Just got to stick to that and keep it clean, man.
How close do you think you were to stopping him that first time?
Very close. I mean, as close as you can get to a fight not being stopped.
How much do you think the damage he's taken in his career will have an impact in this fight?
We'll see. It's tough to say, man. We'll see. But he's had a lot of fights and a lot of wars. Uh, we'll see. I'm going out there to hurt him, though.
In fairness, I have to ask the same question to you. Do you have, not concerns exactly, but what toll do you think the damage of a professional career has had on you?
Uh, I don't feel any different. But what they say, the fighter's the last person to know. I feel good, man. I feel like I'm hitting my prime, my stride right now. But there's no secret to it. Fighters do not age gracefully, and I came into Zuffa with 6 fights on my record. This is my 30th pro fight, so I fought the best of the best for a long time, and I'm sure to some degree that takes an effect on you. But like I said, I'm feeling great right now. I'm feeling like these next few years are my prime years, and I'm going to be a world champion.
It's interesting. You had this, you've always been really, really talented, really, really good, but you had this sort of, I don't know, reputation exactly is the right word, but you were sort of known as a guy who would go out there and really have these exciting, all out wars, and you still put it on the line, but you're a lot more calculated than you used to be, a lot more clever in terms of at least what you're showing. When did that switch get flipped where you went from a guy who was, yes, still an action fighter, but a much more, it's much more surgical than it used to be?
I think that I don't know if there was one fight where it happened. I think it's just an accumulation of fights at this level. You can't keep making simple mistakes. If you do, you're out of here. It's one thing to get to the UFC. It's a whole other thing to fight 20-something fights here and stay here at the top like I have and be in title contention over and over again. You have to learn, or you have to evolve, and I think that's what it is. I can't pinpoint one single fight, but I feel like things outside of the cage has helped this happen, this growth. I'm a father now. Being a father has taught me patience. It's put fighting in perspective. Fighting used to mean everything to me. It was life or death. I still give it my all in training and really care about it, obviously, but this is just fighting. When I go home, I'm a father and a husband, a son, a brother. This is just fighting, man. And it's easier to do now that I think about it like that.
When did you become a philanthropist? So for folks who may not know, I think for the last few fights, maybe longer than that, correct me if I'm wrong, you've been auctioning off your Reebok fight kit, right? And then donating the proceeds to various charities. First of all, did I get the mechanics of that right?
Yeah, I started a nonprofit myself. Before that, me and my wife were auctioning off stuff and from fights and doing charitable stuff with it, just with us, like no name. It was just we were doing things like that, and then we decided to start a nonprofit, the Good Fight Foundation. If you have any interest in it, you can check it out at thegoodfightgroup.com. But that probably was either the first fully auctioned off everything I wore to the cage and used it for charity. Probably was either the first Eddie fight or the Jim Miller fight, maybe. It's been a few fights now, but yeah, we do whatever we can do in my immediate community where I grew up at, and look for things that we can help out with. This time for this fight with Eddie, we're going to be doing 500 backpacks filled with school supplies for the year, and we're going to be adopting, like sponsoring a teacher's classroom and updating them with all new computers and just a bunch of stuff like that. So I'm really excited, man.
When did it occur to you that was something you needed to do in your life?
It started happening whenever we were moving back to Louisiana from South Florida, and we were packing up a moving truck, and I had these plastic drawers, and I had like a room that I kept all my training stuff in, and I had these plastic drawers filled with fight shorts and fight gloves with like dried blood and stuff on it. And like I was saying a while ago, I have a lot of fights in this organization. So when you're young and you first fight in the WC and the UFC, you want to keep the shorts and gloves and you want to frame them, and it's awesome, But then you have 20-something pairs of bloody fight shorts and bloody gloves and shirts, and it just becomes too much. So we were moving, and I was like, I can't believe I have all this stuff. I forgot about, all these fights. And then, you don't just throw that stuff away. It means a lot to me, but I was like, maybe we can sell it, and then that's what we decided to do. That's really where it came from.
And the nonprofit, is it strictly about giving kids school supplies, or does it span other needs?
Yeah, it spans other needs. We worked with a widow of a fallen police officer hometown of Lafayette, Louisiana. We've raised 1,000 meals for the homeless. We've done school supplies and necessity kits and new furniture for a women and children's shelter. And now we're doing school supplies. It's whatever we've there's always so much going on in this crazy world. And it's not just my local community where I'm from. I would reach out and help out with anything. We just do it there right now. And yeah, we don't have any particular set goal. We do whatever's going on at the time. And it's back to school right now. School season's about to start, the school year, and that's what we've done.
Let's take it back to the fight. I'm looking at your Instagram feed here. You and Eddie did a promo tour. I guess this was around June, about a month ago or so. And it was in Calgary. And the caption for the photo is, "Take it in blood." Now, what does that mean exactly?
It means that I'm going to go out there and earn it the hard way in blood. I'm going to earn my title shot. I'm going to earn this win. I'm going to take everything I want. And that's exactly what's going to happen. This isn't this is a sport. This isn't a game. This is war when we get in there.
Have you ever thought about how some of the losses that you experienced, that you're overcoming them, like beating Gaethje, getting to this position? It's a long road. It's a super long journey, but maybe that was the right journey for you to maximize all of the skills that you have, actually.
Yeah, maybe so. Everybody has their own path. Everybody peaks at different times. Nothing in my life was ever easy. Adversity teaches a man a lot about himself. I'm well acquainted with myself, man. I know what's going on. I know who I am. And this is just fighting. Tune in Saturday. Watch me go to work.
What was the biggest lesson from the Gaethje fight?
To check inside leg kicks, man. Damn.
How long did that take to recover?
A while. I had a small tear in my quad. I strained my MCL. I had a lot of physical therapy done. I had a range of motion was gone for a while. I honestly, man, I couldn't wrestle and I couldn't run at all for a month after that fight. Not even. So I lifted weights a lot. I got on a strength program, put on a couple pounds of muscle, did everything I could do to stay busy. And it hurt for a while.
But in terms of your own sense of self, I'm sure you went into that fight thinking you knew you could beat him, but beating him in the way that you did you take anything extra from that?
It just gave me reassurance that, these guys like Gaethje, guys like Eddie, these guys don't mentally break. They don't find a way out. They don't beat themselves. These guys are in there for the long haul. And it just reassures that technique and patience, when your body quits on you, it doesn't matter how mentally tough you are. All these guys are tough, and the same thing's going to happen with Eddie. He's a warrior. He's a dog. He wants to go out there and fight. His back's against the wall. He's in a dangerous spot in his career, and he's going to leave it all out there. And when his body quits on him, there's nothing he can do about it. That's the beautiful part about fighting.
Do you make anything of the fact that this is the last fight on his UFC contract?
Yeah, like I said, he's in a corner. He's going to be a dangerous fighter like always. He's going to leave it all out there. That's what kind of fight it's going to be.
Now, you mentioned and you believe that the winner of this gets a title shot, and of course, you intend on being that guy. My question is the following. Do you believe that the UFC lightweight title will be contested in 2018?
Yes, for sure. I do. I believe it's going to happen at the end of the year. And if it's not me, it'll be me at the first defense of next year.
So do you think Conor's going to get a shot immediately? Or, I mean, how's it going to – tell me the breakdown in your mind of how you think it's going to go.
In my mind, I feel it's like this. It's Conor and Tony. One of those guys are going to fight for the belt. And then I'm next.
Okay. And you think this will all happen inside 2018?
I think one of the defenses will happen at the end of this year, yes.
Now, if for some reason that there is no defense in 2018, what is your position on interim title fights?
mean, I'm not against them. I think they when a champ is out injured for a long period of time or something, I think it makes sense. If there's an active champ, I don't really feel it makes a lot of sense. It just depends on the scenario and the circumstances.
So let's play analyst if we can, Dustin. You're an accomplished fighter, jiu-jitsu black belt. You know this game better than just about anybody. Conor takes on Khabib. Who wins?
I'm leaning towards Khabib in that one, man.
And why? Because he's just so overwhelming?
Yeah, and if Conor can't stop him in the first few rounds and Conor starts to slow down, I think the wrestling's really going to start being too much.
And then if Khabib ends up fighting Tony Ferguson, how does that one go?
I think Khabib wins there too.
Wow.
I mean,
so you think
we saw Kevin Lee take down Ferguson, and I think Khabib's going to be a lot harder to submit. I think the Ferguson fight's a little bit more, he's unpredictable and funky, man. So I think that might be a little bit tougher matchup for Khabib with Ferguson's wrestling and unpredictability. But, man, it's hard to play MMA math and think about these scenarios. Anything could happen in this sport.
Do you do a lot of visualizing fight week?
Nothing crazy. Every night when I go to sleep, I think scenarios that can happen. Think of how it's going to feel if I can.
And so have you visualized Saturday at all? In any capacity at all?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stop Eddie Alvarez.
Do you have a round in mind, or is that a little too murky?
Yeah, too murky. I don't know what mistake he's going to make. I don't know how long it's going to take to soften him up, but it will be done, man.
Your biggest advantage over him is what?
Technique, speed, youth, skills, hunger.
The whole shebang, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? I am looking forward to it. Enjoy Cowtown such that one can. It looks dynamic from the shot here, but I don't know how much about it. But there it is. Man. Look at that.
Look, actually here behind me, there's the arena. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, I can. Wow. Oh, that's great.
Saddle Dome.
Oh, you're fighting right next to it. As a confident man, you are, Dustin Poirier. Hey, man, thank you so much for taking some time out. And I know I speak for a lot of people inside MMA when I say this is one we've had circled on the calendar for some time. Looking forward to it. And thank you so much.
Happy it's here, and I'm happy it's coming together, man. Enjoy the show.
All right. Thank you, Dustin. Take care.